Hello and welcome to part 2. Now I will show you in this video an application example for the use of a SIPROTEC 7UM85 for generator protection. To avoid mistakes, the plant design should be done with a single line diagram. It not only shows the plant type, but also the most important primary components and the installation location of the current and voltage transformers and their quantity. The figure shows the plant design. It's a simple unit connection consisting of a generator, unit transformer and a high voltage circuit breaker. Not shown are the attenuation of the de-excitation and the command for shutting down the turbine by emergency tripping or closing the valves. You can see the quantity and the location of the current and voltage transformers. Reverse power protection is provided with a separate class 0.1 measuring core. This measuring core has a very small angle error of 10 minutes. And because of the angle error of the 7UM85 can be neglected, it is not necessary to calibrate the total angle error in the over and under excited operation of the power plant online. The generator neutral point has a neutral transformer with load resistor. The designation of the measuring points have been entered into the single line diagram from the recommended application template. The measuring points by which the application template must be expanded are shown in red. The following table shows the required protection functions divided in protection group 1 and protection group 2. In addition to the separate differential protection for the generator and the unit transformer at separate CT cores, 100% stator ground fault protection with external 20 Hz coupling unit and rotor ground fault protection according to the 1 to 3 Hz principle are required. The rotor ground fault protection needs 2 fast measuring transducer inputs on the hardware side. The other functions are standard functions for the electrical protection of power plant units. You can use the SIPROTEC 5 configurator to select device version. Before you start, make sure you know the required number of current transformers, voltage transformers and measuring transducers and the necessary number of binary inputs and outputs. Please consider that the 100% stator ground fault protection requires a sensitive current input. We have to use a protection current input on the protection device side for the reverse power protection because it has sufficient angle precision and the advantage of a wider current measurement range. How to use the configurator is explained in a separate video. That is why I will not go into further details here. Please note the following for the configuration. According to the single line diagram, you need at least 15 current inputs, 1 sensitive current input, as well as 7 voltage inputs and 2 fast measuring transducer inputs. In addition, 20 binary inputs, 24 binary outputs, 1 large display to indicate many measured values at once, 16 LEDs, 1 electrical Ethernet plug-in module to communicate with the power plant control center via Profinet. The device will be built into a cabinet and the auxiliary power supply voltage is 220 volt DC. It is recommended to start the configuration with the standard variant AA4 and to add the required expansion modules. The function point class for the required protection function is determined based on the table on the previous slide. The required number of function points can be calculated by clicking Calculate Function Points in the configurator. Navigate through the list and select the required functions. The example requires 325 function points in the end. The configuration is concluded with a summary. You receive the product code, which allows a unique identification of the device and the list of the selected hardware components as well as the selected function point class for loading functions into the device. If you need more function points, you can reorder more for your device anytime. Please save the configuration because you required it as the basis for the engineering with Dixie 5. The picture shows, for the example, a part of the configuration result. It helps during engineering if the required structure including the number of measuring points and the necessary function group are visualized. You can start with an application template from the manual and then modify it accordingly. Please leave the pre-designed designation of the measuring points as they are and add more measuring points. I have already explained this when showing the single line diagram. For this example, I recommend you start with template 4, generator unit connection advanced, 8V, 16I, and adapt it to your needs. Which modifications are necessary? We have to add additional current transformers. We need to provide a 3-phase voltage transformer on the high voltage side. The rotor ground fault protection needs modification. We need to add a function group for the reverse power protection. The following figure shows the result of the modification including the used function groups. The generator and the transformer differential protection is connected to separate CT cores. The function group transformer side processes the voltage on the high voltage side additionally and enables the use of additional protection functions. The reverse power protection uses the measuring transformer and is located in the additional function group VI 3-phase. The rotor ground fault protection, now based on the 1 to 3 Hz measuring principle, has been adapted accordingly by integrating the measuring transducers. Now you can start with the implementation in Dixie 5, carry out the configuration, the required routing, and configure the display and protocol settings. I recommend the following procedure when configuring protection parameters. Set the setting sheet to primary. Start with parameterization of the transformers under system data. Then go into each function group and set the protective object parameters under general. Now you configure the protection function in each function group. Please make use of the comprehensive selection of recommended settings in the SIEMENS device manual. That's all about. I wish you a successful engineering with Dixie 5. Thank you for watching this video.